please come in from the cold. The snowfall is really heavy today, isn't it? Oh, it's quite all right. We just opened for the day. Welcome to the Magic Yule Bakery. I'm Drusilla Philomena Goodenough, owner and proprietor. What can I tempt you with today? Oh, you're here about the sign in the window. How wonderful. Yes, we are looking for some extra help for the Yule season. And if we find the right person for the job, we might offer them a permanent position. Do you have any former confectionery experience? Or simply a love of baking? We make all sorts of magical sweets, pastries and desserts here. Yes, taste testing is allowed and even encouraged. Baker's prerogative. We need to know what we are selling and that everything is up to our standards. We use quite a lot of magic in our cooking, but no magical abilities are necessary to apply for the position. I usually take care of the magic side of things myself, but if you are proficient in anything like potion making, alchemy or enchanting, we'll make sure to put those skills to good use here. I see. That sounds very promising. No need for a resume, no. We don't bother with that. Why don't we go to the kitchen in the back and talk a bit instead? It will give me a feel of whether or not you'll be a good fit here. That's more important than experience, really. Come on then, follow along. And you do need to hold my hand in order to pass through. Otherwise you'll just end up in the broom cupboard, not the kitchen. If I do hire you, I'll give you your own keystone, so you can come and go as you please. Here we are. Quite a big kitchen, but warm and cozy at the same time, don't you think? That's Gladys over there, chopping away, and that's Alonso, stirring the pot. That's it, just the three of us, and you, perhaps. Since Sugarplum Crossing is a sort of suburb to the North Pole, we do get a lot of traffic. The main road to and from Santa City goes straight past the bakery, so we get all sorts here and need to carry a large selection. Elves, yes, but also gnomes, goblins, dwarves, and the occasional troll, and quite a lot of humans too. Yes, many from the outside world don't realize, but there is a healthy human population here as well. I mean, it really shouldn't surprise anyone. Humans are everywhere, but my point is, it does get very busy during Yule. As you can imagine, and well into the new year as well. That's when the elves take their holiday, you know. So you've arrived just in time to get your bearings. Although, time is something we bend and mold as we please in the kitchen. My kitchen, you see, is sort of set outside of time somewhat. Almost like a pocket realm, yes, with slightly different workings than normal space. Time almost stands still in here, you see, compared to the rest of the store or the outside. We can bake and bake and bake until everything is done, and take as long as we need to get everything just perfect. And when we exit the kitchen, only a few minutes will have passed. You can see it if you look outside the window. The snowflakes are standing still in the air, not falling, or only very, very slowly. Oh no, I didn't do this, dear. It's a little beyond me. I had to pay a proper sorceress to enchant the entire kitchen like that. It took her a whole day, and it was not cheap. Oh, I find it tremendously useful. It's an investment that has paid off many times over. And during Yule, it is absolutely necessary to keep up a stress-free production. I hope you don't mind adding more hours to your day. A 28-hour day. How does that sound? You think it would be tiring? Oh, that's not a problem, dear. I thought about everything when I hired that sorceress. My directions were very detailed. Time stands still for us as well when we're in the kitchen. We don't need more sleep, no matter how long we spend in here. And we don't age faster either. But the pastries rise, the cakes cook in the oven, and so on. And we do get hungry, which is a plus in this place, I would say. We take plenty of breaks while we're in here. We have lunch together twice a day, actually. You can read a book or play cards while I try to think of new recipes. That's my hobby, you see. It's not all work. The whole point is not having to stress around like most people do this time of year. I know, my dear, it really is a marvelous thing. You know, bakers usually have to get up in the middle of the night and work their socks off to get everything ready for the morning rush. Not us. We open at 10 a.m., no sooner. We don't really make breakfast items, you know, and the workday starts at 9, but only to clean the shop, the part of the building the customers see. We do that together, all of us. Then we retreat to the kitchen, and we have all the time in the world to bake whatever we're selling that day. Usually, we spend the equivalent of 3 or 4 extra hours in here without time passing outside. And sometimes we spend a lot more than that. It just depends on what we need to make. We can train you, dear, so credentials are not that important. We have all the time in the world to train you, in fact, so you don't need to know anything beforehand. It's much more important that we get along and work well together. I have a good feeling about you. You seem very friendly, and you seem to listen to every word I say, which is quite rare. Alright, let me take you through the things we are baking today. I'd love your opinion on them. This is Frostberry Flan, a new recipe. I'm not sure yet if it will become a staple of the bakery. It's an ice blue custard flan topped with enchanted frostberries that sparkle like snowflakes. Eating a slice gives a gentle, cooling sensation and a fleeting vision of a serene winter landscape. It also helps the digestion. It's meant for those long evenings after a dinner party with too much heavy food, when it's too warm inside by the fireplace, but too cold to go outside. But we might sell it in the summer too. Yes, we do get summers here. You must be new to the magical world, dear. Santa's realm is a kind of pocket realm, you see, just a rather big one. And the entrance is widely known by magical creatures, and some humans as well. We couldn't live on the actual North Pole, you know. That's just where the entrance is. Yes, I suppose my kitchen is a sort of pocket realm inside of another pocket realm. But my point was, we do have all 4 seasons, and all of them are celebrated with food and festivals. We really are very greedy around here, you know. But too much of a good thing can be wonderful. Like another piece of flan. And if you look over here, these little bite-sized delights are Starfire Tarts, miniature tarts filled with golden, glowing caramel that resembles captured starlight. When eaten, they warm your soul as well as your bones, and they make your breath emit faint, sparkling embers, just for a minute or 2 after eating. Why don't you try one? What do you think? They're good, aren't they? And if you get too warm, you can have a piece of Frostberry Flan. No, not all of my produce is related to temperature. These little treasures are Moonshadow Cookies, dark, deep chocolate with salty peanuts. They neither warm you nor cool you down, but they do seem to vanish in dim lighting, at least for a few seconds at a time, and then reappear. And they transfer that effect to you just for an hour or so after eating. Children use them to play hide and seek, or to sneak around the house and look for presents early, perhaps. Over here, we have a different type of cookie. Cinderbark Cookies, they're called, chocolate with mint, and they crackle softly like a warm fire when you bite into them. Nice and simple, they make a great gift. This is one of our signature cakes, and I am very proud of having created this recipe. It's a dessert worthy of a proper feast. Aurora Glaze cake, I've called it. It has no particular effect on the eater, other than tasting marvelously and increasing your blood sugar quite a bit. But it has, as you can see, a shifting glaze that mimics the northern lights in the sky. Wonderful for a party where you need to impress someone important. Selling it does give me a peek into who's trying to ingratiate themselves with whom around here. Sugar Plum Crossing is a small town, so there's bound to be a lot of gossip. Just think of gossip as a harmless form of recreation, mixing news with light fiction. Let's move on, shall we? Over here, we have an elegant 3-tier cake stand in a deep Yule red. We sell those as well. And this one is filled with Evergreen Fudge. In this case, I've enchanted the ingredients before baking. The fudge is made with enchanted evergreen sap that smells of pine and sweet citrus. A bite of this little treat refreshes the mind and briefly improves one's focus. Students often buy them before an exam. But sometimes I would prefer the treats I serve to have the opposite effect. These Gilded Embercakes have a calming and slightly mellowing effect on the mind. They can be used to stop rumination and help with sleep. They are small, molten chocolate cakes encased in a crackling golden sugar crust. Each of them just a few mouthfuls. I often give away a few of them for free whenever any conspiracy theorists settle down at the table to discuss politics. I swear there's more of them every year. Oh, you know, the usual silly theories. Santa is a dark wizard who has enslaved the race of elves. That sort of nonsense. I will not name names, but such sentiments are most prominent among the, the tall blonde ones. High elves, I think they call themselves these days. But we don't need to talk politics. Let's look at a few more pastries and desserts. These, for example, Snowspire Merengues. Tall and delicate, but very easy to make, shaped like snow-capped mountains. When they are fresh out of the oven, I enchant them to melt on the tongue like fresh snow and release a sweet flavor of mixed berries. And next to them are these Icicle Drizzles. They work in much the same way. Little hard candies shimmering like ice crystals. They crackle faintly like the ice on a frozen stream and leave a refreshing minty aftertaste. As I'm sure you've noticed, I do quite like wintry treats, sweet and sharp flavors reminiscent of the white snow, the twinkling stars, and the shimmering northern lights. Many of my creations mimic the light and colors of the season. But over here we have something more traditional. Cinnamon stars. They're full of other Yule spices as well, but cinnamon is the main flavor. Eating them will call forth a positive memory from some time in your past. Something warm and cozy. And if you eat a few right before bedtime, you will have pleasant dreams. And this is Heartglow Fruitcake, a classic imbued with tiny glowing embers within its candied fruits. Dried figs, currants, raisins, dates, and pecan nuts are all in there. I used to put a bit of boiled and sweetened crab apples in them as well, but apparently crab apples have a short temper, and sometimes eating this fruitcake would lead to a few instances of fistifights. Now that I have perfected the recipe, I usually leave them out. It depends a bit on how well I like the buyer, I must admit. Eating a slice of crab-apple-free fruitcake creates a warmth in the eater's chest that feels like sitting by a crackling fire, even in the coldest weather. Yes, another one that warms you up, but that is often what people want in winter. You can bring a piece with you when you leave the house, in case you get too cold. I decorated the top of this fruitcake with delicate little macaroons with intricate snowflake designs, filled with magically chilled cream. Hot and cold in perfect harmony. You have noticed the gingerbread houses already, haven't you? Yes, I've seen you glance over at them a few times. Take a closer look. Some of them are quite elaborate. They can be eaten, of course, but they are mainly meant for decoration. The magic lies in the windows. Illusion magic this time, not enchantment. Try to peek through one of them. Each show a different scene. A cozy living room where little gingerbread men and women decorate a tree, wrap presents, or just relax together. Others show outdoor scenes, snowy landscapes, and so on. Mesmerizing. What do you think so far? Do you think you'll fit in here? And do you like the idea of working in a stress-free bakery where time stands still in the kitchen? I could give you a week's trial period before either of us commit to a written contract. Just a bit of time for you to decide if you like it here. Fully paid, of course, yes. Does that sound okay? Good. I'm glad my antics haven't scared you away. Here, take a look at this recipe. It's the dough for the living gingerbread houses, and all the ingredients are in that cupboard over there. If you can make that and set it to cool overnight, I can add the illusion magic tomorrow and make some more. I'll be right over here enchanting some more cookies. Just let me know if you have any questions, and take your time. You have plenty of it.